All right, welcome to this episode of Maximus Minute. Now, I've been doing a lot of videos on getting leaner. I've been doing a lot of videos on losing body fat. I've been doing a lot of videos on building muscle. But one of the underlying conditions for all those things is having adequate testosterone. Now, we live in a day and age where, let's face it, men's testosterone is plummeting. If you look at the numbers in the 60s, the numbers in the 70s, the numbers in the 80s, and the numbers in the 90s and the 2000s, the average male's testosterone has continually declined. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this, ranging from stuff in the environment to processed food to, frankly, men just being lazy and not training enough and not engaging in enough self-care. And one of the things that I see people do is when they have low testosterone, they go running for the TRT shot or some other type of drug, like a steroid. Now, I'll say this blanketly. I'm against TRT and I'm against drug use. Now, there's an asterisk with that. There are people who genuinely need help. There are people who genuinely have a genetic predisposition to low testosterone. And in that case, I am all in favor of them taking TRT or testosterone. But when I say I'm against it, what I mean to say is I'm against a person refusing to sleep 8 hours a night, against a person refusing to clean up their diet, against a person refusing to engage in any type of exercise at all, and then just going for some type of injection or some type of pill. Like, I think you're doing yourself a real disservice. And by the way, I feel the same way with depression. If you have a genuine chemical issue, if you need real help, there's no shame in asking for help and going on medication. But if you go to your doctor and tell him you feel depressed, and he tells you that you need more sunlight, he tells you to clean up your diet, he tells you you need to exercise, he tells you to see a therapist, and you're not willing to do any of that, I just don't think pharmaceuticals are the answer. Like, across the board, I believe with all my heart that natural is better. And I want to keep it that way if I can. So let's circle back to testosterone now that you know my philosophy on the whole thing. There are some things that I do that you can do too that will keep your testosterone high, or if it's low, these are some strategies that I've used with my clients. And listen, I train some of the best people in the world, people in the NFL, people in the NBA, Olympic athletes, some major corporate leaders in the world. These are strategies that I've used with these people to help raise their testosterone. So the first thing, it always starts with sleep. I want you to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep in a completely blacked out environment. Now, the reason I say 7 to 8 is because when I say 8, people freak out. There's no way I can get that much sleep. 8's better than 7, 8.5 is better than 8, 9 is better than 8. Just the more sleep, the better. And it's got to be in a completely blacked out environment. What do I mean by completely blacked out? The complete absence of light. If you have a little red light on your TV, that's too much light. I do have a TV in my room. I recommend to a lot of people to strip the room of all electronics, but I do have a little TV in my room because I like to watch some, Monday Night Football when I crawl in bed or something like that. But I have a piece of an electrical tape that I put over the red light, so there's absolutely no light. I've got blackout curtains. I've got blackout shades. I put a towel under the crack in the door before I go to bed. My phone is in a drawer face down, so there's absolutely zero light. Like, if I wake up in the middle of the night and look at my hand, I can't see it. Like, it is completely dark. It's like a crypt. When you sleep in a completely blacked out environment, your body will produce more testosterone, more human growth hormone, chemicals that you want. All right? Conversely, if you're sleeping under 5 hours a night, especially if there's some light in the room, in some cases, your testosterone can cut in half. So if you're a person out there with low T and you're sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night, you're not sleeping in a blacked out environment, that's the first pick, the first check box that I would check off. Now, I had my testosterone tested recently. It was actually the first time in my life I ever had it tested because I've never had a reason to. I mean, I don't have a problem getting an erection. I have a super high sex drive. I'm 6'3". I'm 236 pounds right now at 10% body fat. Like, I'm clearly not, and I'm bald. I'm clearly not a candidate for low T. But I wanted to get it tested to see where I was at, and mine was 951. That's really high for a person who is 45 years of age. Now, when I say really high by today's standards, in the 1960s or 1970s, it wouldn't be that high. But again, this is the place we're in where men's values have continually been on the decline. Anyway, 8 hours sleep a night, I'm religious with it. Another thing that I do, and this is not realistic for most people, but I don't wake up to an alarm clock. I haven't woken up to an alarm clock in 3 years. I plan my bedtime. I plan my schedule so I don't have to. Now, I have to be at my job at 8 in the morning. Now, I run a gym. I open a gym. But I have to be there at 8 in the morning, which means I probably want to be up at 6:15 or 6:30. That means I go to bed somewhere between 9 and 9:30 on most nights so that I wake up naturally. Sometimes it's 5:45. Sometimes it's 6 o'clock. Sometimes it's 5:30. Sometimes it's 6:30. The rare occasion I'll wake up at 7, but the bottom line is I'm not waking up to an alarm clock, and that really helps too. So number 1 is sleep. Number 2, no processed food. 0. Stop eating garbage from a package. The rule is you got to be able to pluck it from a tree and eat it in its natural state, or you have to be able to kill it. So if you look at my diet, steak, fish, chicken, arugula, avocado. I eat some bananas. I eat a lot of red berries. That pretty much takes the main portion of my diet. I like eggs. I'm eating non-processed food. And here's the deal. With non-processed food, I'm talking as few ingredients as possible. And so the cleanest, the best, and the best part about that is you're eating the Michelin star diet. Like if you went to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, you went to a Thomas Keller restaurant, you went to a Joe Bastianich restaurant, a Cat Cora restaurant, like some of the most famous chefs in the world, Naisha Arrington, they would serve you non-processed ingredients. You're not eating stuff from a can. Even just look at spaghetti sauce. I grew up with an Italian grandmother. Spaghetti sauce, it should have some tomatoes, some garlic, some olive oil, some basil, maybe a little bit of thyme, maybe a little bit of oregano. But it shouldn't have red number 57 or red number 42 or red number 39. It shouldn't have sodium dioxide. It shouldn't have potassium chloride. It should have none of this stuff in it. It's got to be clean. It's got to be pure. I even take it to the point where eating an orange is better than drinking fresh squeezed orange juice because it's not processed. You can eat the orange off the tree. Olives are better than olive oil. And if you can do this across the board, you will be far better off. And even when I cheat, because people say you got to live a life, right? Like, what do you do when you cheat? When I have ice cream, my ice cream's made from cane sugar. It's made from vanilla. It's made from eggs. It's made from cream. That is it. I don't have this ice cream with all these other chemicals in it. When I have pizza, it's real pizza. The dough is made from a few ingredients. The sauce is made by hand. The cheese is made by hand. Like it's the best of the best. I'm not filling my face with Domino's or Pizza Hut or Little Caesars or any garbage like that. So we got the sleep. We got the food thing. No processed food at all whatsoever. Get rid of it. Number 3, you have to start exercising. Exercising will help your body produce more testosterone. Stop being so lazy. Just do something. Now, there are certain types of exercises that will boost your testosterone more than others. Heavy lifting. Heavy's a relative term. I don't expect you to go out here lifting like Eddie Hall, the strongest man in the world, but you've got to lift some heavy weights. Do I want you going for a 1-rep max every day? No, but pick up some heavy weight and put it down. You could do some deadlifts. You could do some squats. You could do some bench press. You could do some farmer's carries. Just lift some type of heavy weight. In another video, I'll teach you how to lift heavy, and I'll talk about what a good program looks like, but start lifting some heavy weights. If you're not lifting heavy weights, you're doing it wrong as far as testosterone is concerned. And start doing some short, hard sprints. By short, hard sprints, I'm not talking about mile repeats. I'm talking about like 40 yards, 50 meters, 100 meters, just short, hard, intense sprints. If you went to the gym and you did a heavy lifting workout followed by, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes of short, intense sprints, your testosterone would go up. But if you're not doing that every day, that's fine. At least get off your butt and go for a damn walk, swim, ride your bike, like do something. You've got to move your body. Exercise is the best thing you can do. So there's 3 simple things we've got already. We have sleep, we have no processed food, and we have exercise. Like literally, it's that simple. If that's all you did, your testosterone would raise. It's that simple. But people aren't willing to do that. They're not willing to get that 8 hours sleep in a completely blacked out environment. They're not willing to eat that diet free of processed food. They're not willing to get their ass out of their couch and go lift some damn weights and work out. Now, there's a bunch of other things we can talk about. Vitamin D. Vitamin D will help raise your testosterone. I'd recommend 2,000 to 5,000 IUs a day. Stop drinking out of plastic. Plastic's poison. Start drinking out of glass or stainless steel. That's another one. Eat more red meat. There's another one. Red meat is not bad for you. Don't fall for all this vegan propaganda nonsense. So we've got vitamin D. We got some red meat. Eat more saturated fat. Saturated fat is not going to kill you. Eating fat doesn't make you fat. The worst thing you can eat if you want to tank your testosterone, and frankly, if you want to screw up your cholesterol, is eat all kinds of processed sugar and processed carbohydrates. So the closer you can get to a carnivore diet, which by the way, that is in line with my no processed food ideal, the better you're going to do. Like, it's really this simple. And I don't know why people, actually I do know why people don't get it. It's because they don't want to do the work, because that's overwhelming. For some reason, we live in a day and age where sleeping is too hard. Eating a good diet is too hard. People would rather fill their face with Doritos and chocolate bars and nonsense and processed food. And by the way, again, I think it's BS, because you would rather go to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant than you would a Burger King. Like, let's face it, I wish Gordon Ramsay lived with me. He was my roommate. He could just make me food all day. Like, who wouldn't love that life? I'm asking you to eat well. I'm not asking you to like have a bad diet. But it's too hard for people. People just fill their face with garbage. And then working out, like, you can't find 30 minutes a day. It's really all you need. If you went to the gym, you lifted heavy for 20 minutes. Like, one of my favorite things to do. Actually, I'll give you a heavy lifting workout. I know I said I wouldn't, but I'll give you one. A 10-to-1 ladder. So say you're doing a deadlift. Maybe you use the hex bar because you're scared to hurt your back from a straight bar. But you use the hex bar, put 25s on each side. That's 95 pounds. Do 10 reps. Put 5s on. That's 105 now. Do 9 reps. Add 5s again. Do 8 reps. Add weight. Do 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At rep number 1, I don't know what weight you're at. Maybe you're at 185, 195, 205. And if that feels heavy, you can stop there. But if it feels good, do 5 heavy singles. Pick one up. If you know you can do more, add a little weight and do it again. That takes like 20 minutes. Then you could do like 5 40-yard sprints and you'd be done. You really don't have 30 minutes a day to train. Like, if you don't, I just call that supreme laziness. So really, you can fix this. Like, if you're one of these people that's struggling with low testosterone, if you take these steps and just to go over it again, because people get confused. 8 hours sleep a night in a completely blacked environment. No processed food. Work out every day or exercise every day. Vitamin D, 2,000 to 5,000 IUs a day. More red meat, more saturated fat. If you did those 6 things. Oh, and one more easy one for you. Get your ass in the sunlight. Stand in the sun for 20 minutes a day. I don't care if it's in the morning and you get in the backyard, you take your socks off, you stand in the grass and ground yourself to the earth. You can do that hippie stuff. Or you could just go for a walk and get some fresh air. Get some real sun, which will also help your body make vitamin D, which is preferable to taking it. But there's 7 things now you can do. If you do those 7 things, I promise you your testosterone will go up. I've had people who have worked, I say for me, who have been my clients, my athletes, have had testosterone 380, 390. They do these things for 3 months religiously. Then they're hitting values 700 or 800. That's all you have to do. It's literally that simple. Here's what I recommend to you. If you're one of these guys watching this and you have low T, just try it for 3 months. What do you have to lose? Now, if your testosterone doesn't move after 3 months, you may have a genetic problem. But you got to do this 3 months hard. And if you have a genetic problem, then go on your TRT. I got no problem with it. But even if you are on TRT, I would still be doing these things, because guess what? And ladies, if you're watching, this isn't just good for testosterone. It's good for health and wellness, period. And you've got one body. So stop being so lazy and just take care of it. Rant over. Maximus Minute done.